Good morning, boys and girls. So today we're going to finish our book called What's in the Egg, Little Pip. And as you know, this book is fiction, okay? The genre, remember we talked about the word genre? Genre means what kind of book is it? So what is it mostly about? Does it have fake characters in it? Does it have real characters in it? Does it have characters who look real but it might be a fake story? Do the characters look completely fake? Are there any characters at all in the book? What's the book about? Is it a book about one person, about their life? There's different types of genres, and so this genre is just fiction. Okay, it's just fake. And we said that one of the reasons why we know it's fiction is because the penguins talk in this book. Now we know that penguins can communicate. That means penguins can talk to each other, but not in English. So not in the words that we speak. I never heard a penguin speak to me before. So this is definitely a fake book. And where we left off was on page 347, I believe. So I believe that we read this, but I'm going to just read it. It's been a couple days. We're just going to refresh our memories. Okay, so if you remember, what happened in the beginning was Pip noticed there was an egg under his mama. That's where he used to sleep, and it was really warm. We talked about how Pip seemed maybe unsure about the egg. He wasn't sure. Maybe he felt a little jealous. Maybe he felt a little sad. And so now we're going to dive deeper into this story and see where the story takes us. And don't forget, every fiction book has a problem. So, what do you think Pip's problem is right now? Think about it. What's his problem? Problems are not good ever. No problems are good. All right, let's go ahead and 347. Make sure that you are putting your finger on the words. You're staying with me and you are paying attention. All right. Mama carefully nudged the egg and tucked it on Papa's feet. Then Papa nestled down onto the egg. Where are you going, Mama? Pip asked. I need to go I need to go fish to bring food for you, Mama said. But somebody must always be with the egg to keep it warm. So Papa will watch the egg while I fish, and I will watch the egg when Papa fishes. When I sit and think about what's going on, I always thought that the daddy would fish and the mommy would always just sit on the egg. But it's kind of neat that, both mommy and daddy get to take turns. I think that's really cool. Can I go with you? Pip pleaded. Mama smiled and shook her head. You stay and help Papa keep the egg warm and safe. We must be ready for any storms. We don't want the egg to get cold. We'll need you. Pip sighed. I'm too little to help. I'm still your baby. Mama shook her head. You have grown up so much, little Pip. You're big enough to help Papa. You're big enough to help me. You're even big enough to help the egg. Remember that. But don't worry, you will always be our baby. Okay. So, if you look on page 349, it says, highlight the text that helps you understand or make an inference that Pip is still important to her parents. Well, there's two words in here that maybe might be a little bit confusing. The first one says, highlight the text. This word, text. Highlight the text. If you remember, I've said before that texts are words. And so I said that if, you see your mom or dad or brother or sister, grandma, grandpa, if you see anybody text, you know that they are sending words, right? They're typing out words to send to somebody else. And so that's what text is. Text is words. And so if you put words instead of text, you would say highlight the words, okay? Highlight the words that help you understand or make an inference. Ooh, inference, that's the other word that I was talking about. Inference. Remember we talked about inferences earlier? We talked about it when we first started reading the story a couple days ago. We said that inferences are kind of like, no, we're not guessing, but we're looking for clues to help us figure out the problem or what's going on or how the person's feeling. And if you remember in the beginning of the story, it said, Pip shrugged her shoulders and said she wasn't sure about the egg. We made an inference. So we made, our guess that Pip just wasn't very excited about the egg because the text, the words were telling us that she said she wasn't sure. She shrugged her shoulders, which we know shrugging your shoulder means like, I don't know, right? If you get in trouble and they say, well, where did you hide the tablet? And you say, well, I don't know. And you shrug your shoulders. So let's find some words that tell us that Pip is still important to her parents. Did you feel like when I read this to you that Pip was still important to her parents? Let's read it again. Let's figure out how we can, what words tell us that Pip is still important to her mother and father. Pip sighed, I'm too little to help. I'm still your baby. So don't forget, we're trying to find words that tell us how important that Pip is to her parents. Mama shook her head. You have grown up so much, little Pip. You're big enough to help Papa. You're big enough to help me. You're even big enough to help the egg. Remember that, but don't worry. You will always be our baby. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I know the answer. I think I know what words tell me that Pip is still important to her parents. So go ahead and pause the video, think about it, and let's see if your answer is the same as mine. Okay, hope you paused the video, you thought about it, and what I'm going to say is this one. Don't worry. You will always be our baby. I feel like that shows Pip that she is still important. Being the baby is really important. And her mom says, you don't have to worry about the egg. You're still our baby. You're still important. So it says to highlight. I'm going to highlight it green. So on page 349, please make sure you have your monster book, and I want you to highlight this last sentence on the bottom of page 349. Okay, so again, if you ever need to pause the video, that is totally fine, but now we are on page 350. I'm going to go ahead and start reading. Pip wasn't so sure. As she watched her mama waddle away, a tear slipped down her cheek. Now it was just her and Papa. Oh, and the egg. So it says to underline the part of the text, and remember we said that text are words, right? Underline the part of the words that show how Pip feels when Mama leaves. So what happened when her mama waddled away? And waddle is a vocab word. I can see it right now. I'm kind of moving back and forth. That's what penguins usually do. Do you see how they're kind of sideways? They waddle, 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 back and forth. Pause the video. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what words in here, what words showed how Pip feels when Mama leaves. I hope you paused the video. And what I'm going to say is, well, as she watched her mama waddle away, a tear slipped down her cheek. I feel like this is a really good indication or a good a good clue that she was really, really sad. I don't know why it won't let me. Interesting. Well, for some reason, it is not letting me underline this for some reason, but of course we would underline a tear slipped down her cheek. So you would just put a little line under a tear slipped down her cheek. Again, that shows us how Pip feels when Mama leaves. It shows us that she is very sad. Okay, the next page is 351. Later that day, Pip chirped, "Papa, let's slide on the ice." Papa shook his head. "I can't leave the egg, little Pip." Pip frowned. "Not even for a minute?" "Not even for a second." "But isn't it boring?" "A little," said Papa. "Then why do you do it?" Pip asked. Papa smiled. "That's what families do, little Pip. I did the same for you when you were just an egg." Pip couldn't imagine she was ever just an egg. Why had Mama and Papa ever even wanted the egg? "I should be enough," thought Pip. She wandered off to think, and as she slumped along, she sang, the egg, it's all the egg. Nobody cares about me. I liked best before the egg, back when our family was 3." Little Pip felt so alone that she decided to look for her best friend Mary. You want to go slide?" she asked. "I guess," said Mary. She didn't seem like her usual cheerful self. Okay, now on page 353, it looks like we have something to do. It says to underline the text that tells what Pip does to make herself feel better. So as you could tell, Pip was very sad. She was singing a sad song. She said, "Nobody cares about me. I liked it best before the egg, back when our family was 3." Of course, 3 would be her dad, and her mom. But what did she do after that to make herself feel better? Look at these couple paragraphs right here. Pause the video, come back, and see if you underline the same thing I did. Okay, so if you pause the video, what Pip does to help herself feel better, it says Pip felt so alone that she decided to look for her best friend. And we know that if we're looking for our best friend, don't you think that would make you feel better? Me too. So she definitely looked for her best friend to make herself feel better. But look at this, guys. Mary said, "I guess," because Pip asked to slide, and Mary said, "I guess." And Mary didn't seem like her usual cheerful self. Mary looks really sad, guys. "Does your family have an egg too?" asked Pip. Mary nodded and stamped her foot. "I don't see the fuss about the egg. It just sits there and it does nothing." "I know," said Pip, "but it's all Mama and Papa ever talk about or think about anymore. I want to forget about the eggs. Let's slide." All right, and so they did. Whoop, whoosh, whee, and they didn't think about the eggs again. So, looks like we have something here on the side. It asks us to underline the text that tells what Mary does to show how she feels about her family's egg. So what did Mary do that showed us how she felt about her family's egg? Well, from just reading this paragraph right here, we know that Mary feels the same way as Pip. Mary is not happy about this egg, and she is very upset and sad. So what did she do to show us that she feels how she feels about the egg? Read it again, pause the video, underline your answer, and then we will come back and I will show you my answer and see if you got it the same. Okay, so you should have underlined your answer. You should have paused the video, and now I'm going to tell you my answer. So what does Mary do that shows us how she feels about her family's egg? Well, it says Mary nodded and stamped her foot. What did she do? She stamped her foot. That's what she did. It's an action. When you do something like a verb, it's an action. So stamping your foot is an action. Have you ever been mad before? You just didn't get your way and you start stomping your feet on the ground, like your feet are just hitting the ground so hard because you're so angry. Or maybe you've seen somebody do it before. That's what she did. She showed Pip how she felt just by stomping her feet. All right, let's go ahead and keep going. All right. But suddenly, the sun disappeared behind a thick black cloud. A storm! Squealed Pip. We must run. Hurry! We're too little, said Mary. We can't. Oh, wow. I see a lot of things going on here, guys. First of all, I see a problem, a big, big, big problem. A big black cloud is coming toward them, and they are freaking out. Every good fiction book has a problem. So this is their problem right now. And look at these words. Look at how small these black words are. And then these purple words are huge. Why do you think that the author, the person who wrote this book, why do you think they made this part and this part so big and so different from everything else? Think about it, pause the video, come back, and maybe we'll talk about it. Okay, so you've paused the video, we're coming back. And again, we said, why do you think the author, the person who wrote this book, why do you think he wrote this word so big and this word so big? I think he wants to show us that the situation that they're in is scary and it is a big problem. They are freaking out. And when she said, a storm, it is huge. It is showing the reader that this is serious stuff. We must run. Hurry! I can imagine Pip and her friend Mary just going crazy. I could see the big, thick black cloud right in front of them, and they are freaking out. Oh, look, there's another one on page 357. Run! All right. So again, we know that every good fiction story has a problem. So I want you to predict, how do you think they're going to solve the problem? So they're running right now so they don't get caught in the storm. But do you predict that they are going to get caught in the storm, or do you think they're going to miss the storm? What do you think? I want you to have some predictions. All right. So let's go ahead and keep going. We are on page 357. It says, Pip ruffled her feathers and puffed out her chest. My mama said I'm big enough to help the egg. So are you. We have to go help. Now run! They raced the cloud all the way home. Wow. Can you imagine that in your head? Okay. It says underline words that help you understand the meaning of puffed out. So do you remember on the top, it said Pip ruffled her feathers and puffed out her chest. Well, I want you to think about where's her chest? Right here, right by your neck, right? Right? It's right between your neck and your belly. So what does it mean when she puffed out her chest? What did she do? Well, let's read about why she did it. It says right here on 39, my mama said I'm big enough to help the egg. So are you. We have to go help now. Run! I want you to think about what does puffed out her chest mean when you read that little part on 39. Go ahead and pause, come back, and let's see what you underlined. See if it matches mine. Okay, so hopefully you have underlined some words that help you understand the meaning of puffed out. So what does it mean to puff your chest out? And so it says, have you ever watched a movie or a cartoon? And sometimes, like superheroes, their chest goes out instead of in, so they move their chest forward. And they act like they're big and bad, right? Like, I'm here to save the day, and their chest goes out. That's what it means to puff out your chest. She's feeling like a hero. She's feeling brave, right? She's feeling confident. She didn't want to help the egg before, did she? But look at that. She said, my mama said, I'm big enough to help the egg, and so are you, and we have to go help now. Run. She actually wants to help now. That's that's a big step. So what I underlined was I'm big enough. Those are some words that helped me understand what the meaning of puffed out mean. She's big enough, that means she's puffing out her chest. What about we have to go help? I feel like those words are helping us think about why she's puffing up her chest, how she's puffing up her chest. She's feeling confident. She's ready to go. She's a big girl now. If you ever need to pause this video at all, please go ahead and do so you can catch up. Okay. Just as they reached camp, frozen sleet started to fall in cold, stinging drops. Pip snuggled tight against her papa, helping to shield the egg. They were huddled, and there they waited. So it looked like she got back to home. Just as they reached camp, that means just as they reached home, frozen sleet started to fall in cold, stinging drops. So sleet, I believe, is like a combination of water, like rain, and ice and snow. It's yucky. And if you drive in sleet, people get in accidents all the time because of sleet. Sleet is not good. So it is called stinging drops. What happens when something stings? Think about when a bee stings. Does it feel good? Absolutely not. So these hurt. They started to fall in cold, stinging drops. Pip snuggled tight against her papa, helping to shield the egg. What a brave little sister. They waited and waited and waited. So looking at this picture, here is picture 1, picture 2, Picture 3. Do you see the events coming? Look at all that sleet coming across. Then what happens? Do you see the sleet anymore? Do you see the lines? I don't either. They look like little dots. So I'm guessing maybe it's just snowing now. So do you think it got better from stinging frozen sleet to just little snowflakes? Yeah, I think so too. And from this picture to this picture, well, they're standing up now and it looks like they're stretching out their little wings, and I don't see any snow. It looks like it's getting better. Now we're going to go over here on page 358, and it says, highlight the text that helps you understand that Papa and Pip care about the egg. As you can tell, they really care about the egg. You can just see it in the pictures. If they didn't care, they would just let the egg be by itself. But they took their lives and their heat and they're huddled around the egg. So I want you to read this again. I want you to pause and highlight the text that helps you understand that Papa and Pip care about the egg. Hopefully you paused the video, you highlighted your answer, and let's see if your answer matches mine. So I feel like Papa and Pip care about the egg because it says that they snuggled tight. They snuggled tight. That shows me that they're doing their best to keep the egg warm. Again, if they didn't care about the egg, they probably wouldn't snuggle tight in the freezing rain and snow just to make sure the egg is okay. They are snuggling tight. They are caring about this egg. And also helping to shield the egg. What is a shield? Have you ever seen knights, people like fighting, and there's like a big metal thing in front of them? A shield is something that protects them from getting hurt. So it says they're shielding the egg. They're making a tight togetherness so the egg will not get hurt from the cold. The egg will not get hurt from the wind. The egg will not get hurt from the sleet. Oh, let's go ahead and highlight that one too. There we go. All right, so let's keep going. You guys are doing a great job. Okay, finally Mama returned. There's Mama. Pip's tummy growled. She was glad to eat the fish Mama had brought back for them. But then Papa had to go fishing. Mama's back, and now it's Dad's turn to go out. I want you to make some predictions. Do you think that Pip is going to be nervous when Mom comes back? Do you think that she's going to be scared? Do you think that she's going to be mad that Mom's back? Do you think Pip is going to be happy that Mom's back? What do you think? What do you think about Pip and the egg now? What do you predict that Pip will tell the mom about the egg? Do you think that Pip will tell Mom that she's okay with the egg now? Or do you think that Pip will still tell Mom that she's not sure about the egg? Also, it says highlight the text that helps you understand that Pip is hungry. We know that Pip was hungry. Mom brought back fish, and now it's Dad's turn. But what in this text right here tells us that Pip is hungry? Pause it, find it, highlight it, and come back. Okay, you paused, and now we're going to talk about the answer to how we know that Pip was hungry. Well, let's go to the very first sentence on this line where it says 45. It says, finally, Mama returned. Pip's tummy growled. Whoa. I would think that I know what the word growled means. I think you guys know what the word growled means. Growled means to make noises, right? And you guys know when your tummy growls that it is because you're hungry. So those are the words in this little part right here that tells us that Pip is hungry. Okay. Oh, wow, look at this. Looks like there's another storm coming with Mama. What do you think Pip's gonna do? Storms came and went, and the egg always had to be kept warm. Pip, Mama, and Papa huddled around the egg for many weeks. Sometimes Mama left to fish, sometimes Papa, but Pip always stayed with the egg. It's a lot different than the beginning. Pip wanted nothing to do with the egg. Then one bright sunny day, while Mama was away fishing, chip, chip, crack. The egg is broken, Papa, Pip cried, and buried her head into Papa's chest. All that work for nothing. Crack. What do you think Pip is thinking right now? Do you think that Pip is excited or Pip is sad? I think she's kind of sad right now because she thinks the egg is broken. She doesn't know that the baby's coming out. She just thinks that the cracks mean that the egg is broken. It says Pip gasped. That goes, the egg was gone. In its place sat a beautiful penguin chick. It's a chick! It's a chick, Papa! Little Pip, meet your brother! Wow. So that is his little brother. That's so cute. Look at the little baby penguin. So cute. And of course, if you don't really know what a penguin is, this is a penguin. But the definition says it's a short-legged, black and white seabird that cannot fly and that lives or near the Antarctic. That means they live in a very, very, very cold place. It says to underline what Pip says that shows she is excited now that the egg has hatched. What kind of words right here shows us how excited she is now that the egg has hatched? Go ahead and pause, come back, and we're going to go ahead and say the answer. Okay, I hope you paused. And again, we're asking, we're underlining what Pip says that shows that she's excited now that the egg has hatched. And it looks like when she said, it's a chick, Papa. I feel like those are words that she said, and it shows us that she's excited now. Do you see this exclamation point right here? Remember, exclamation points tell us that either the person's yelling and they're really excited, or they're yelling and they're mad. Well, I have a feeling that since Pip was really excited for the egg to hatch, that she is so excited. She's happy. So this line right here is telling us that Pip is really excited that the egg hatched. At the beach, lots of penguins were squawking and talking. Pip saw a flock of penguins just back from fishing. Mama, she was home. Mama sighed with happiness. So remember, sighing's like, ah, he looks just like you when you were a baby, Pip. Pip smiled. I was that small? Oh, yes, said Mama. Just that small. Look how tiny, so cute. All right, so of course it said that Pip saw a flock of penguins. A flock means a group of animals, such as birds. And then we know that a group is more than one person. A group is like our classroom. If we have 10 students together, that means we have a group of students, a group of animals such as birds. Pip looked at her new brother and she sang, Welcome, chick, you lovely chick. What a wonderful, glorious sight. Little brother, I name you Sam. You make our family just right. Little Pip looked around and saw all the penguin families snuggling new chicks in their pebbly nest. Pip waved to Mary and Mary waved back, a huge smile on her face. Pip smiled too. Everything felt just right. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Make sure that you highlighted and underlined everything that we just talked about and we just did. If you need to go back and pause, please do that. But make sure you guys underline and highlight because I will make sure to look at your book and make sure that you are doing that. All right, guys, see you later. Have a good one.